Just ahead on CTV News. A new bill filed to redraw Maryland's congressional districts. Plus, travel tips for drivers ahead of the holiday weekend. And
a routine bus ride turns terrifying. Threats, fear, and a system some say has failed to protect commuters and operators. I'm Noel James, and just ahead, we tell you why some drivers are demanding answers.
Those stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
This is CTV News for August 28th. I'm Katara Jones.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Thanks for joining us. Maryland Democrats say if Texas can rewrite rules on election maps, so can they. Senator Clarence Lamb has filed a bill to rework Maryland's congressional districts, reviving an earlier map that would redraw the Eastern Shore's 1st District to favor Democrats. That seat is currently held by Andy Harris, the lone Republican in Maryland's 10-member congressional delegation. Lamb says it's not just about winning seats, it's about sending a warning to Republican-led states that blue states are ready to fight back.
Glad to see that California had stepped up to really kind of neutralize these types of extreme gerrymander that had taken place in Texas. But we're also seeing other states step up to heed Trump's call in redistricting as well. States like Indiana, Ohio, and Missouri. And this was an effort to demonstrate that Maryland is willing to step up, just like California did, to push back against extreme gerrymandering if other states decide to proceed with this. And hopefully this will serve as a warning shot across the bows of other states that might decide to proceed, to give them pause and realize that, there's nothing to be gained here by doing this.
And Harris says Democrats are rolling the dice with this plan and warns the gamble could backfire, costing them seats instead.
The last holiday of the summer season is finally upon us. Labor Day weekend kicks off tomorrow, and AAA says this summer has been a robust travel season. The Auto Club anticipates Labor Day weekend to be the least traveled out of all the summer holidays because a lot of kids have already gone back to school. Now, if you plan to travel across the Bay Bridge to get to your holiday destination on Friday, you should leave before 11 a.m. and after 9 p.m. AAA says while many families are expected to fly, some are opting to drive to local beaches and parks.
The vast majority of people do travel by car, typically about 85% no matter what the holiday is. So first and foremost, we can't advise enough to make sure that your car is road ready before you take off. Last year in the DMV alone, we, AAA, came to the rescue of nearly 14,000 disabled motorists over the Labor Day holiday weekend. We know that the roadways will be very busy, particularly on Friday. Throughout the majority of the day, we would recommend that people take to the roads before noon if they want to sort of be in less congestion, not to say no congestion, but less.
If you plan to drive, AAA says that gas prices are trending down compared to last Labor Day. And if you're planning to hit the road this Labor Day weekend, Maryland State Police will be out in full force. Maryland State Police say troopers will be out looking for impaired drivers beginning tomorrow, August 29th to Sunday, August 31st. The troopers that will be conducting high visibility patrols are a part of the State Police impaired driving reduction effort known as the Spider Team. Motorists can expect to see troopers along routes 301, 50, 495, and Maryland 210, among other areas across the state.
It's a job that keeps our communities moving. Bus operators are a big part of our daily routines.
But for some drivers, it's also become a safety concern that cannot be ignored. More now from CTV's Noel James.
It's a part of the routine for hundreds of Prince George's residents. Pay the fare to use the bus or train to get to and from work. But what happens when a passenger threatens the operator and commuters on the bus? That's what happened to Edward Morgan Sr., a bus operator with the March Bus Gold Line.
I'm gonna kill you when I see you again.
Those are the hair-raising words that Morgan heard from a passenger at one of his regular bus stops. And while other incidents have triggered swift internal action, Morgan's requests to have this incident reviewed were denied, raising concerns about safety and accountability.
Nobody even came out and said, Mr. Morgan, we're working on this. We're gonna call you. We're gonna try to resolve this situation, not only on your behalf and your co-workers, but for the citizens. It shows that they don't even care about them as well. We have to look out for each other. But I'm looking out for everybody. You know, I'm not sitting up here trying to be no hero. I'm trying to help people.
The Amalgamated Transit Union Local 689 chapter that Morgan is a part of is equally concerned.
Harassing or assaulting transit workers or passengers on transit is never acceptable. And the union condemns that. We're definitely seriously concerned by the information that was shared.
So what's next for Morgan?
I filed a federal EEOC. I was given the right to sue this company, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
Meanwhile, other operators who have faced similar threats fear the next one could turn deadly. CTV has reached out to March for comment and have yet to hear back. In Oxon Hill, I'm Noel James for CTV News.
Wow, Noel, that is just scary. We will definitely be keeping an eye on this story. Tragedy struck in District Heights last night after a bicyclist was killed in a crash. This happened in the area of Pennsylvania Avenue and Walters Lane. County police arrived on the scene at 6:45 p.m. and found a man unresponsive in the roadway along with his broken up e-bike. He was later pronounced dead on the scene. The driver of the car did remain on the scene and cooperated with police. Investigators are working to determine the cause of the crash.
Prince George's police have released new video footage linked to a suspect involved in a 2-year-old murder case. On your screen is video of the suspect walking towards the 5100 block of Indian Head Highway. That is where police were headed for a welfare check on August 7th of 2023 and found 33-year-old Chuck Jenkins outside suffering from trauma. He was pronounced dead on the scene. A $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with information that leads to an arrest and indictment in this case. And County Council Chair Ed Burrows is taking new steps to prevent foreclosures in Prince George's. In an effort to combat the growing number of county homeowners losing their properties through foreclosure, Burrows is partnering with the nonprofit Strategic Housing Solutions of Prince George's County to host a foreclosure prevention workshop. According to reports, the county had the most foreclosure filings in the first quarter of 2025 than any other jurisdiction in the state. That's about 25.4% of the state total. The workshop is designed to help residents through the process that can be difficult to navigate.
We know that we have a real issue in our community with individuals who are losing their homes. At the same time, we also know that a lot of our residents might not have the tools, the knowledge, or the background to successfully navigate the foreclosure process that ends with them keeping their home. If you're a Prince George's County resident and you live in Councilmatic District 8, which is most of Fort Washington, most of Temple Hills, Oxon Hill, Camp Springs, from National Harbor all the way over to Andrews Air Force Base, you're eligible.
A foreclosure prevention workshop is set for tonight at the Southern Regional Technology and Recreation Complex in Fort Washington. For more details about the event, call the number right there on your screen.
A judge has ordered for Kilmar Abrego Garcia to stay in the U.S. until at least October. Maryland federal judge Paula Zenas barred the Trump administration from re-deporting Abrego Garcia. In October, Abrego Garcia will be back in court for a hearing. Just earlier this week, he reported to an ICE facility in Baltimore for a mandatory check-in. Shortly after, he was taken into custody. The Trump administration is trying to deport the 30-year-old construction worker to Uganda. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Katara Jones. Still to come.
School is back in session for Maryland's oldest historically black university. Coming up, we're breaking down their Boldly Forward strategic plan.
I wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly, I totally get what you're going through. It's nice to know that like you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Welcome back. A road rage incident leads to the arrest of a Bowie man and multiple firearms being seized from his home. 24-year-old Justice McDougal was arrested Tuesday for a road rage incident on August 7th. According to Maryland State Police, McDougal was pointing a firearm at another driver while driving on Central Avenue. Once police tracked him down, they found a handgun, an AR pistol, and a high-capacity magazines during the search. He is now charged with first and second-degree assault, among other charges. And as the fall semester kicks off, there's a fresh wave of energy sweeping through Bowie State University.
With new faces on campus, our Michaela Newton takes a closer look at the university's newest plan and what students can expect in the year ahead.
I'm here on the campus of Bowie State University, where students are kicking off the new school year. I sat down with Dr. Amin Tabro, who spoke about the Boldly Forward strategic plan that focuses on entrepreneurship. Classes for students at Bowie State University started this past Monday.
Excited for all my classes, but it's also a little nerve-wracking being in a new environment for me. But so far, it's been good.
With a new school year comes a new plan for the 160-year-old institution.
We are leaning into Boldly Forward, and what that means is we need to be much more entrepreneurial in our thinking about higher education. And that's why we focus in on entrepreneurship and experiential learning, internships, ensuring every student is ready to hit the ground running when they graduate.
Dr. Amin Tabro, the university's president, says there has been a change in enrollment due to uncertainty in the market.
We're forecasting intentionally that we're not going to grow. We will not be at the 6,300 mark that we were last year.
But for freshmen like Marcus Gerard,
it was a very easy choice for me.
Bowie State was among his top choices for school.
I'm adjusting pretty well. The campus, I visited here about 3 times before I came here. I like the classroom size too. It's really nice.
And Dr. Bro says one thing won't change.
You will get a sense of family when you come onto this campus. No matter where our Bulldogs are, they demonstrate that too, that they're caring, they're concerned about their communities, and they are giving back.
Michaela Newton, CTV News.
Thanks, Michaela, for that story. Enrollment numbers for Bowie State are expected next month. The Maryland State Board of Education is urging school districts to adopt comprehensive cell phone policies starting in the 2025-2026 school year. While not a mandate, the resolution encourages local leaders to follow statewide recommendations. focused on reducing distractions in classrooms. A national survey shows stricter policies led to happier teachers and more focused students. The Maryland State Education Association supports the move, emphasizing local input and student well-being. A controversial crackdown from Washington. The Trump administration is demanding states to strip any mention of gender identity from sex education programs or lose federal funding. The Department of Health and Human Services sent letters warning 40 states, including Maryland, they have 60 days to comply or they risk losing more than $81 million for teen pregnancy and STI prevention. The order targets references to transgender and non-binary people, telling states to remove what it calls radical gender ideology. Critics, including the Human Rights Campaign, call it an effort to erase trans people from public education.
Well, history was made yesterday as the winner of Sapphire Golf Tour's inaugural tournament has been crowned. Cammie March took home the first ever trophy from the Sapphire Golf Tour at the Country Club at Woodmore on Wednesday. Sapphire Golf Tour is the first tour designed exclusively for Black professional female golf players. Officials say the tournament featured 10 pros and 2 junior players. Council member Walla Begay presented a proclamation to recognize the tour.
Many people don't put Prince George's County with golfers or even Black women with golfing. We think of, when they think of golfing, they think of that lone Tiger Woods. But we wanted people to change the narrative of Black people, especially Black women. We want people to see us nationally as a home for Black women golfers. So having this tournament here reflects what we already have and want people to we want to send a message.
Congratulations to Cammie March on her big win. Sapphire Golf Tour will be heading next to Atlanta for the next stop on their tour. For more details, visit sapphiregolftour.com. And switching to other news, the Board of Public Works has approved a $300 million IT contract despite concerns over transparency and fairness. The 9-year deal assigns tech projects to 8 pre-approved firms on a rotating basis with no further board oversight. Comptroller Brooke Learman voted no, raising concerns about competition, rising costs, and limited opportunities for Maryland-based businesses. Supporters, including Governor Wes Moore, say the contract supports over 1,400 jobs and will improve digital services statewide. Still, the vote passed 2-1.
A space shocker right here at home. NASA's Goddard Visitor Center in Greenbelt could be on the chopping block. An internal email to employees at NASA's Wallops facility, which is run by Goddard, says both the Wallops and the Goddard Visitor Centers will close October 1st, part of the Trump administration's budget cuts. The Goddard Center draws more than 30,000 visitors a year, with student tours, virtual field trips, and a hands-on look at NASA science. Union leaders warned the plan would hurt the local economy and gut NASA's mission to inspire the next generation of scientists and engineers. The closures are part of a proposed $6 billion slash on NASA's budget. NASA has not publicly confirmed any final decision on Goddard. And still to come on CTV News, we visit a local restaurant in the county serving up a mix of African and Jamaican cuisine.
We tell you what the fry station at Taste Buds has to offer when we return. Stay with us.
Might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. You may not even know you have it, but you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand. With early diagnosis, you can change the outcome and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back. The new updated COVID-19 vaccine is out, but only certain Americans can get it. The Food and Drug Administration has now placed restrictions on who can get the updated shots. The new shots are now approved for seniors. However, the FDA is narrowing the shots for younger adults and children with one high-risk health condition. The Pfizer vaccine will no longer be available to kids under the age of 5. Previously, the COVID-19 shots were recommended for Americans 6 months and older.
Over in Capitol Heights, there's one family-owned restaurant that has both seafood and traditional Caribbean and African dishes. Today, I was able to see firsthand why the restaurant is popular at lunchtime. That's the sound you'll hear greeting you when you walk inside the fry station at Taste Buds.
Hey, let me get fish sandwich, fried mussels, and a blueberry lemonade.
Marcellus McCall is a regular. He says this is his favorite lunch spot.
I love the flavor of the fish. It comes out fresh, comes out hot, well seasoned. It's very flavorful. Reminds me of back home when your grandmother used to fry that fish, or your grandfather had an old cookout or something. And it's just hits home for me.
At the fry station at Taste Buds, most of their food is cooked fresh to order. La Traviette Walker is the owner. She says customers have a lot to choose from on the menu.
We do our famous stacked fried fish sandwich, our fried shrimp, our fried mussels. And on our African Caribbean menu, we have the oxtails, we have jerk chicken, curry chicken, brown stewed chicken, cassava leaf, spinach stew, and of course the fufu.
Walker says the restaurant is truly a family atmosphere, with her husband and daughter working alongside her. It's also the combination of two businesses. Taste Buds was originally owned by an African family. Walker says her family was operating a small business called the Fry Station.
The Fry Station is originated, my husband and I started in 2018 with one pot, one propane tank, and one case of fish.
The owner of Taste Buds reached out to Walker's family to sell.
Everything happened so fast, but I'm grateful that we were able to continue the community staple here, and that we were able to combine our own business, the Fry Station, and bring it into Taste Buds.
For McCall, he says there's no place in the community like the Fry Station at Taste Buds.
Well, personally for me, it feels good when you come in a restaurant like this and see people of your own people. Give you like a family welcome.
And let me tell you this, today myself and videographer Erica Cumber were able to eat the food, and let me tell you this, it was delicious. If you enjoy fishing, listen up. Next year, you may have some restrictions. The Atlantic State Marine Fisheries Commission Striped Bass Management Board recently voted on new restrictions in order to save the striped bass species. They are planning on imposing a 12% reduction in 2026 on both the recreational and commercial catch of the fish. The Fisheries Commission says the striped bass is being overfished. They believe the new measure will help alleviate the problem.
Time to hop to it and meet our pet of the week.
Say hello to Egypt. She's a 1-year-old white and black English spot rabbit who's been bunny hopping around the shelter since July 10th.
Animal Services says Egypt is sweet, social, and ready to bounce into her forever home.
Today we have Egypt. She's a 1-year-old English spot rabbit. She's very sweet, can be a little shy, so I'd recommend a quieter home for her, and she's been here since the middle of July. Right now, throughout the end of August, we're doing the Maryland 3000 as well as Clear the Shelter. Any animal in the shelter right now, through August 31st, the adoption fees are waived.
So if you're ready to let Egypt or any of her furry friends multiply the love in your life,
call Animal Services at 301-780-7200, or you can scan the QR code on your screen.
And remember, your next Hoppy companion could just be one adoption away. And now it's time for our Thursday sports page.
That's right. What's going on today, Simon?
Hey, sports fans, and coming right up, I was able to talk to a Boys and Girls Club from right here in the county that has been making an impact in the community for decades. Find out who after the break. Stay tuned.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I responded to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop a bully.
normalizing. Well, I completely disagree. Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
All right, everybody, it's time for your Thursday sports page. Now, there are multiple boys and girls clubs around the county that have all played a part in developing the next generation. And I caught up with one of the club's football programs and was able to see firsthand the impact it's had on the community. The Glenarden Boys and Girls Club's football program has long been a place where athletes come to grow. A program where football players from ages 6 to 14 come to learn the basics of playing on the gridiron. And along with developing their football skills, they also make sure to develop their character skills as well.
We teach each of our athletes how to be stand-up men and women, how to be open and honest and have great integrity. And that's what's most important these days with these youngers. They got to know integrity, right from wrong. And like I say, we want to, mentorship them and keep them off the streets. We really have them in our program and on the streets. And again, like I say, the question was, what would he teach them? Integrity is most important, and to being honest and being accountable for your actions. And like I say, every action has a reaction, so you have to be accountable for your actions.
The club achieved a major milestone recently as they celebrated over 50 years of developing athletes through their award-winning programs. And McCoy told me about the impact it's had on him and how proud he is to be a part of an organization that's making a difference.
I actually grew up across the street behind the 7-Eleven in Glenarden Wood, so I've been a part of this community for a very long time. And I actually played for the Glenarden Boys and Girls Club, so I know what the impact it has in my life in 50-plus years. And actually, it means a lot to me.
Not only does the club mean a lot to him, but also to current members of the club as well, as players from the football program touched on how it's helped them improve their game.
They encouraged me to play professional when I grow older. And it got me more aggressive and ready for NFL. They taught me the basics of the game, how to play the game, how to put your mind in the right mindset during the games. Yeah.
Man, they helped me become a better football player by working, doing sprints, get me faster, get me stronger, and yeah.
Now the start of the team season is right around the corner, beginning on September 6th. And Commissioner McCoy has confidence that his team will have another good year.
We ready. We the Bulldogs. They don't call us the Bulldogs for nothing, so we coming. We ready.
Good luck to Commissioner McCoy and the rest of the Bulldogs this season. Moving on to some professional football news, as I reported earlier this week, the Washington Commanders finally reached an agreement with wide receiver Terry McLaurin on a contract extension. The deal ended the two-time Pro Bowler's holding with the team, as he hadn't practiced with them all offseason up until this week. The All-Pro spoke yesterday, and he's glad to finally be back with the team.
It was a long process, and, there's no playbook or script on how to handle this situation. And so, you start out one way, and then you hope that it ends the way it's ended. And so I'm thankful for this process to just be able to be back on the field, and just the conversations that, Buddy and AP had, and myself and AP, and me and DQ. So it's definitely been a process, but I'm really happy to be back out here with my teammates.
Man, I can't wait to see what Terry and Jaden Daniels do in year 2 with one another. And that wraps up your Thursday sports page. Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
That wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.